Section 1 ****. Hey guys, tonight we're heading straight into a world of sharp swords, silent footwork, and a whole lot of body odor. You're slipping into a set of armor that smells like old sushi and dead dreams, because, well, this isn't just any battlefield. This is feudal Japan, where the noble samurai may be polished on the outside, but what's happening inside those lacquered plates? Oh, it's funky. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. I love seeing the sleepy squad across the globe. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Your first breath inside the armor hits you like a tsunami of ancient regrets. The silk linings are moist. And not the cozy, fresh laundry kind of moist. No. This is decades of battle sweat kind of damp. You're fairly certain something died in the chest plate, possibly honor. Possibly a raccoon. You shift your weight. The shoulder guards creak with the sound of dried fish skin being folded in half. You grimace. The man who wore this before you clearly had a fondness for pickled radish and an aversion to bathing. A noble warrior, no doubt, but also, quite possibly, a walking biohazard. See, your armor is made of lacquered iron plates sewn together with silk cords, layered over padded fabric. That silk? It absorbs everything. Especially fear sweat, which, historically speaking, samurai had in generous supply. And back then, a full cleaning meant leaving your armor in the sun for a few hours and hoping for the best. You lift the helmet, ****, a kabuto ****, ornate and proud, and catch a wave of heady scent, burnt hair, rice vinegar, and, is that mushroom? You don't have time to wonder. You slide it over your head and feel the warm embrace of tradition, and mildew. But here's the twist. This might actually be a tactic. Historians still argue whether samurai meant to stink or were just too busy meditating and slicing through bamboo to care. Some scholars suggest that smell became part of psychological warfare. Imagine facing an army of ironclad warriors who reek like a fish market after a heat wave. You'd hesitate, wouldn't you? Even the bravest Ronin might need a minute to gag behind a tree. And then there's the quirky tidbit, a 16th century warlord allegedly smeared fermented bean paste inside his armor to mask the smell of fear. Whether it worked is up for debate, but it certainly didn't help his dating life. You try to adjust the chest plate, but it clings to your underrobe like sticky seaweed. Each movement releases another layer of trapped scent. You're beginning to understand why samurai traveled in tight formations, so their enemies could smell them coming. Your squire, a quiet teen named Daichi, hands you your katana with 2 fingers and a pinched nose. Good luck, he mutters, backing away as if you've turned radioactive. You try to thank him, but your voice echoes inside the helmet like a whisper in a sake bottle. There's something almost poetic about this. The armor you wear was designed to protect your soul as much as your body, but no one said anything about your nasal passages. In the camp, other warriors prepare themselves. One man lights incense. Another rubs camphor oil on his wrists like a medieval cologne. A third is just standing there, eyes closed, whispering affirmations while his armpits emit what can only be described as emotional damage. The general approaches. His armor gleams with prestige and possibly ancient curry stains. You salute. He nods. Then stops. Tilts his head. Have you been storing your gear with pickles? He asks. You shake your head. Just tradition, sir. He doesn't question it. He understands. Because being a samurai isn't about looking good or smelling like cherry blossoms. It's about honor, courage, discipline, and, apparently, surviving the internal ecosystem of your own armor. You mount your horse, who snorts in protest. You can't blame him. The signal horn blows. You ride forward. Ahead lies battle. Behind, the faint trail of your olfactory legacy. Your armor might be smelly, but by the end of this, they'll remember your name, or at least your scent. You inch forward, riding beside other warriors who are also wrapped in their own sweaty legends. The man to your right coughs, not because he's ill, but because the wind just shifted and brought your scent right back at him. He gives you a side-eye so sharp it could slice tofu. You nod respectfully. Everyone here stinks. But tonight, you stink with purpose. The enemy is just beyond the next ridge. Scouts whisper about their numbers, but no one mentions their hygiene. Rookie mistake. In feudal warfare, the first strike isn't with the sword, it's with the nose. You adjust your sleeve and nearly choke on the pungent puff of aged silk. A small part of your soul detaches, floats out, and tries to file a complaint with the ancestors. Your clan's armor, like most samurai outfits, is a masterpiece of form and function. Lacquered iron scales tied together with cords, some of which haven't been changed since your grandfather's time. You suspect one of the cords is literally growing something. It's fuzzy. It pulses. You pretend you didn't see it. But this smell, it's not just the random rot of 1,000 battles. There's something deliberate here. Legend has it ***, certain samurai families seasoned their armor with herbs, fermented oils, even crushed insects, anything to generate a unique, repulsive aroma. One scroll from the Muromachi period describes a warrior whose enemies fell ill at 20 paces, their spirits undone by the scent of his righteousness. That's one way to describe fermented daikon and underarm trauma. And you? You're beginning to embrace it. Because every time you pass a nervous foot soldier or a trembling archer and watch them discreetly gag, it's like a badge of honor. The smell isn't just a side effect, it's a warning sign. You glance left and catch sight of an enemy scout up on the hill. He pauses, squints. You wave. He sniffs the air, frowns, and disappears. You imagine him going back to his captain. Sir, they're unusually fragrant. Now, back in camp, there's an old superstition. A samurai who fears his own armor will die by it. Which is probably why no one dares complain. No matter how ripe the air gets, you simply power through. Gagging is for the uninitiated. And cloth masks? That's for theater performers and smallpox monks. Here's a mainstream historical fact to anchor us. Many samurai suits were handed down through generations. Meaning, yes, your sweaty uncle from 1453 wore this exact same chest plate, possibly during that time he ate raw horse meat and vomited in it. Cleaning? Well, armor couldn't just be dumped in water, that would ruin the lacquer and rust the iron. So instead, it was aired out, like a cursed kimono on a sad clothesline. Historians still argue whether the samurai placed cultural value on the odor of battle or simply endured it as an unavoidable byproduct of warrior life. Either way, your armpits are participating in an ancient conversation. You dismount as your captain signals for the vanguard to take formation. Your squad fans out in a line. The strategy is classic: present strength, don't blink, and wait for the wind to carry your legacy over to the enemy. One of your comrades drops something. As he bends down, a waft of stench escapes his armor so strong that a nearby bird falls out of a tree. No one reacts. This is war. There's no crying in kendo, and no air fresheners either. Now, let's take a quirky side note. Some monks turned samurai, like the Sohei, reportedly fasted for days before battle, cleansing their body and mind. But guess what? After a long fast and no bathing, they also reeked. There's even mention of monks applying ashes to their bodies to purify themselves, which conveniently helped mask the smell of sour sweat and fear. Purity by way of funk. You kneel, adjusting the thigh guard on your left leg. It squelches slightly. You ignore that. A beetle crawls out of your gauntlet. You salute it. He's seen some things. Then it happens. Your enemy appears ****. A wall of armored figures crests the hill, spears gleaming, banners flapping. They pause when they spot your formation. A brief silence. Then, someone in their front line visibly retches. Victory. A soft chuckle rolls through your squad. Not a word is spoken, But the message is clear, they've smelled your conviction. The battle will come. Blades will clash, men will fall, and courage will be tested. But before the first blow is struck, you've already landed the opening move, right in their sinuses.